Okay, tell us everything about the show.
Okay.
Spoil the whole thing.
Yeah.
Spoil the whole thing. I know. I want
Anything
to.
you can tell.
This is no. It's this is this show is so much fun to do as a writer because it's all about imagination. So many other shows that I've done are you have confinements, you have blinders because you know that you have to only do things that are possible. And this show is really about the impossible and about the magic of Wonderland, which is just all about imagination. So literally, the world is our oyster. It's fantastic.
Do you know if there'll be any chance of crossover, if not between the characters of Once and with Wonderland?
It would certainly be hard to do Wonderland without talking about the Queen of Hearts. She may very well make an appearance, perhaps, but who knows? But this is really a show that's going to live on its own. That if you're a Once viewer, you'll enjoy because you like that kind of storytelling. But if you haven't watched Once or fallen off of Once, this is a brand new show that doesn't require all the many rules that Once has to be able to keep track of those things and wait, which time am I in and where's the curse and I don't know what's going on. This show really lives on its own and it's Alice's story and it's her adventure and what happens with these characters. So it is open for all new viewers.
The interpretation of Alice in Wonderland, obviously we start with Lewis Carroll through The Looking Glass.
Yes.
And then we have Disney's Alice in Wonderland, which is nice and light and fluffy, and everything in between. Where on the scale of dark and light does this fall?
I think like a lot of people ask about comparing it, to Once itself, and I think that there's a good analogy with that question as well, which is it's all part of the same family, but we're just different cousins. So like sometimes, your cousin might be a little bit more dangerous, a little bit sexier, maybe just a smidge darker, a little naughty, and that's kind of where we are. There's four things that this show will have in every episode, which is adventure, romance, emotion, and fun. And those are the four places that we want to live. We want a little bit of tear, a little bit of thump, and a little bit of laugh, and a little bit of get her. That's what we want.
The trailer, the teaser trailer that was released before the pilot made it look just very sweeping and very kind of mythological. So, do you have a lot of ideas of where you can go with the Wonderland mythology that you hope to go, kind of tease throughout the season?
Yeah, what's cool is that everybody who lives in Wonderland maybe hasn't lived there forever. And so what we want to explore is maybe how they got there. In a strange way, it's actually closer to Lost in storytelling, in the fact that Wonderland is an island, and how did they get there and who were they before that place is really fun for us to explore. So how did the Red Queen come to power? Who was she beforehand? Jafar's backstory. What happened to Alice after the books and before this show? So we get to mash up a lot of other fairy tales, just like Once does, and perhaps give you guys some surprises that you didn't know about these people.
On Once, they've introduced characters from other realms, and they're exploring to Neverland. Do you think maybe in the future you guys will leave Wonderland and maybe venture into some other areas as well?
There can be Once Upon a Time in a lot of places. So, this is bottles can wash up on the shore of lots of different lands. Let's just put it that way. Perhaps there's another place that this story can take us, but definitely within this show, within this season, Ginny's like to go to Agrabah. We'll probably visit there, and we will probably visit some other lands as well that I can't maybe discuss at this moment. But the cool thing about this show is that we'll tell a close-ended story, and if there wants to be another adventure in Wonderland next year, there can be. If there wants to be Once Upon a Time in, say, Oz, Once Upon a Time in somewhere else, you never know.
So this will be sort of a closed end.
Yes, kind of like how American Horror Story is a little bit. They will sort of tell, here's your commit to this. We're not asking you to commit to 7 years. We're asking you to fall in love with us for a season. And then, if you want to date somebody else in the summer, you can, and then maybe,
So are you saying that there will be a cliffhanger, or are you going to...
No, this will be a close-ended story. This is one story that we are telling, and you will.
There's no fear of cancellation.
No fear. We're telling one little story.
That's great.
And it's one thing. Yeah. You know, kind of like how 24 did, right? It's there's always a new adventure to have in another day, and that's how we are going to make this show live as well.